So now we're back in Roku for mine, and I'm gonna get the chest that I was supposed to get in the last part. Now we're coming up to a part where the Sword of Earth is actually useful for something aside from boss fights, because that's pretty much the only time I use it. After you break that boulder that's right there, and you go behind here, there's a chest. I played through this game like 6 or 7 times, and like 3 or 5 of them I missed that chest because I didn't realize you could break the boulder with the Sword of Earth. Right here I'm about to duplicate the first special ability that you get, and these abilities cost MP. You have to wait for that focus bar to go all the way up, which is really annoying, and you can't really do that in the middle of fights. It doesn't work out too well. And I get hit trying to duplicate that, so I realized right there that I'm going to have to back up and do this all over again, wait for that bar to go back up. I wanted to get that first try, but that almost never happens with any of these. So after getting the focus bar full, I inch in toward its attack so that I can get the signal to copy the ability. And right there, I was supposed to go to the right and get a chest that I'm gonna have to go back and get later, and I was really pissed about that. Because I played through this game like 3 or 4 times before doing this playthrough in preparation, and every time I did it, I got that chest in the right location at the right time. But the one time I do this playthrough for recording, I missed that chest. This switch right here is really important because it makes you skip the whole section that you went through before. Basically, by hitting that switch, the next time we visit Roku for mine, we can skip the first half of the stage, which is running through that whole platform. And this switch is also mandatory to progress the story, because if this thing isn't rotating, you can't jump on it. It's way too far. Now I'm going to try to go for a big jump, which I miss. And I wanted to use that jump to get up to the platforms up there, so I could go get the chest. But now that I've missed that jump and wasted even more time, I have to climb my way back up here, and then go get the chest. So I lost a hell of a lot of time because I fucked up in getting this chest, and it's like 3 or 4 playthroughs in preparation getting everything right, and it's like I miss. It's like this is like one of the first major mistakes in my opinion of this playthrough, but it's not too bad. So now after that detour, we're back en route. Gonna narrowly avoid that enemy as I'm climbing the ladder, and we're about to free the blacksmith of Anthium.
Yay! Mug free!
So yeah, basically Mugwort, he can temper your katana and make it stronger at the cost of magic alloy. This is the platform that starts rotating after you hit the switch, and I almost fell off there, which would have wasted even more time. But now we're going to advance deeper into the mine. So yeah, running past these ninjaroids isn't really a problem, unless that one right there blocks me. I'm kind of amazed I didn't get hit. Now you can either run through these valves and take the damage and then go through with invincibility frames, or you can just wait like I am right there, but I think I get impatient a little bit later and just start running through them. I would not advise running through them because they actually take a lot of health on hard mode. A lot more than they should, in my opinion. So from this enemy right here, I'm trying to copy Paralyzing Palm. An ability that's not really too useful, but I think I use it like 1 or 2 times. So after I mess up on duplicating the ability, I'm going to be using Burnt Biscuits to get Musashi's HP back up. And duplicating the abilities is really annoying. I'm just going to say that right now. It's worse when the enemies have 2 attacks instead of 1. When they only have 1 attack, it's not too bad. So after that, I copy the ability Paralyzing Palm after taking damage. Using some of the Burnt Biscuits I want to save. That's all I needed that enemy for, that one ability. And I thought I had timed that right so that I wouldn't get hit while climbing the ladder, but apparently not. The switch right here permanently turns off the steam valves, so now I don't have to waste more time waiting for them to turn off. They're off permanently. So the way that scene happened is kind of ironic because I killed the enemy, and it looked like she popped out of the enemy and said free at last. But yeah, now we're going to hit this switch to advance further into the mine, and the person that we saved sells ice cream and anthium, and ice cream isn't too helpful because it only restores MP and not HP, and it doesn't restore both. If it restored both, she'd actually have some use. So we're going to hit this switch, go down further into the mine, and initiate a boss fight.
What's going on?
So yeah, I actually died to this boss, which is kind of good in a way. Because if you die to bosses in this game, you get your HP and MP back for the next boss fight. And a lot of bosses, I have strategies for fighting them at full health, and I know what to do at full health, but at like half or less than half, it's really, really hard to do a lot of these boss fights on hard. And plus, if you die to them really early, you don't have to use any recovery items, you get to save all yours. So yeah, if you ever lose any health before a boss fight, dying to them is not bad. And this boss basically has 3 attacks: that flamethrower attack, that attack where it charges at you, and then the other attack is where it brings its claws, well not claws, drills together in an attempt to attack you. And when I'm attacking this boss, I'm going to be spamming 360 because this is the fastest attack that does the most amount of damage that I can do. The main use for these burnt biscuits is pretty much fixing fuck-ups. Like if you take too much damage before a boss fight and you're not sure you're going to make it there alive, you want to survive a boss fight, things like that. I mean, it's not as good as the other items that are used to restore HP, but it doesn't cost any money to buy, which is why I'm using them. But yeah, after you get the strategy for this boss fight down, it's not really too bad. There's a lot worse boss fights in this game. Mainly 2 that I really, really hate. They're both on the same stage too. But yeah, all you want to do is get the boss to charge in a direction and do 360s after it's recovering. If this boss ever does that flamethrower attack, just use the Sword of Earth's laden ability, which has invincibility frames like all the other swords abilities. But this is the only one you have at the moment, so you're just going to have to use that for invincibility frames. And there's a good instance of when I use the invincibility of the Sword of Earth's attack to evade that flamethrower attack. And that's the boss fight. So after the elevator ride and a boss fight, we're going to advance further into the mine. There's a checkpoint which you should always go to. Now I tried to use Paralyzing Palm so that I wouldn't get hit while trying to go through these steam vents because I had to wait. But I blocked that attack and get hit by the steam vent anyway. And normally I would even use Paralyzing Palm for this part. It doesn't really have too much of a use. But I wanted to see if it could do anything, and it was already assigned to the button anyway, so I was like, why not? So yeah, I'm starting to kill things because I actually need to level up in this part to a certain level so I can copy an ability. And I usually don't kill things unless I have a good reason for it in this game. And it's mainly to level up. Either I want to level up or I don't want to lose health because they're in my way. I'm doing this to reduce the amount of level farming I'm going to have to do in a few minutes anyway. Because I need Musashi to get to a certain level. That's pretty much what I've planned this game around. Him being a certain level at a certain point so I could copy abilities. And yeah, this is how fighting enemies goes. Just use 360 over and over again. While getting experience during this part, I realized I'm farming at the wrong place. I'm supposed to farm a little bit further into the mine, closer to where the enemy I want to get the ability from is. So now we're going to participate in another minigame where you can earn money and it doesn't waste time. And I actually think I like the motorcycle minigame a lot more than this one. This one, it's basically like bumper cars. All you have to do is ram the enemies into the walls and they die. But while trying to ram them into the walls, it's very easy to ram yourself into the wall at the same time. And when that happens, you take damage.